Hi, it's Julie. I've had kind of a crazy morning, and my son missed his ride to work and overslept, and so I had to jump out of bed and drive him to work. And I just put on warm clothes and got him there, and I'm actually in my car still. And I was sitting here looking at like my YouTube comments and started noticing the pain in my chest. And as always, it's starting down low, right where my brassiere is. I think I've got a black one on. Oh my goodness, it really hurts. It's I was sitting here looking at the comments for a while. I've been in this upright position. Positioning is a big deal with these spasms. Like this one right now is like under my, I guess, the center of my chest and under the left breast. It's getting tighter up here. It's right now about a 2-3 on that pain scale. But it's rapidly going to like a 4. And it's very cold here in the Midwest. And it's like 19 degrees. But I'm starting to feel like restricted by my clothing. Oh, and it's really hurting. I think the additional stress and anxiety this morning from him being late and I'm going on a trip later. I haven't packed yet. My brother wants me to go to lunch with him. It's just like all this stuff is hitting at once. And it is cold out here, but oh my goodness, this pain is like, it's increasing, like 3 pushing 4. It's kind of getting up here now, but it's still continuing under that left breast. We know that I have no heart trouble. This is a diagnosis of esophageal spasms. And a lot of times I experience these at night in bed. But I'm thinking that maybe just the running around, the stress. Obviously no hair and makeup today. But I do always carry with me, no matter where I go, in my purse, I carry my nitroglycerin. I think if I kind of can sit straight, sometimes that seems to help. But I've had the son that I was taking to work is going to be 22, and I had my first esophageal spasm when he was about 3 weeks old, and they thought it was my gallbladder. So I lived for years in panic and the fear of having these because no one could diagnose it. And it's like getting hit by lightning. You just never know when it's going to happen out of the blue. And I taught high school full time for over 18 years. I've had these at school. I had to go to the nurse's office and lay down. Nobody knew what was going on. And you're like writhing in agony. Luckily, mine would pass sometimes within 15 minutes to a half an hour. This one, it's kind of hovering at that 3-4 area, but it's enough to have me start looking faster to find my nitroglycerin. And usually I have it pretty near like the top of my purse. I have this kind that is a sublingual spray. You spray it under your tongue, and you can spray it 3 sprays in 15 minutes. Like you can do 3 at once, and then you have to wait 15 minutes before you can do another one. So here is my little pouch. It says nitrolingual pump spray. I don't know if you can see that very well. Oh, it looks like it's backwards. I apologize for that. I am not like real proficient. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I am not trying to be the spokeswoman for nitroglycerin spray and esophageal spasms. I just don't want others to have to suffer with these. Oh man, it makes it hard to breathe. And it does kind of start to feel sometimes like heartburn. In the fact that you've got a burning and it's in your chest near your heart, I would say it's getting up to my throat now. It is not reflux. That has been so frustrating that people say it's reflux. So this is what the nitroglycerin sublingual spray looks like. It has a little pump. The ones I used to get were twice this size, and they're really meant for heart patients, but they are... I'll try to do another video. Oh wait, yeah, it's definitely backwards. I'll try to do another one where it's not backwards. And so this says nitroglycerin lingual spray. It's got a code on it. Prescription only dosage. Pump must be primed before use. So package insert. See package insert for complete information. Store at whatever room temperature and keep out of the reach of children. See below. Yeah, so there are a bunch of different rules to go because you will have a headache afterwards. I always have a headache, but the headache is nothing compared to the pain. And sometimes I try to ride it out a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, I'm like really uncomfortable. I have a Fitbit, so I'll see what my heart rate is right now. It is an 83, which is pretty high for somebody that's just been sitting in their car for like half an hour doing nothing but sitting here looking at my phone. I got back from driving my son to work, and I was looking at some email correspondence with him at his job, and he has some special needs and has like some accommodations on his job. He has these severely flat feet. Speaking of things that run in the family, luckily these esophageal spasms have not run in the family. There's nobody else, so I'm the lucky one that has these, and it just is so painful. Like sometimes I feel like I want to throw up. I haven't had anything to eat today. Again, it's still hovering like a 3.5 to 4. I kind of notice I'm closing my eyes a lot, and that's because it is uncomfortable. It does say that the manufacturer of this is Perrigo. It's Perrigo, and it is made in Israel. Thank you, Perrigo in Israel. Manufactured by Perrigo. And the next word is YENUHUM. Then it has a 90500. Israel, distributed by Perrigo. Looks like Allegan, Michigan, 49010. They have expiration dates as well, which used to be on the bottom, but I do see it here like a stamp now. So this one is good until November of 2020. Let me tell you, every single one of these I have never, well, I guess I did just recently throw one away because it was from 2005, but I would always rather have one available. They seem to not lose their effectiveness. I can't recommend that for anybody else but myself, but it used to be so hard to get a prescription of this. It had to go through so many hoops, and I wanted to have one everywhere I went. And I even have one in my glove compartment in case I were to forget my purse or have my purse stolen. Now changing into this position, oh, is so totally not worth it. Oh, it's very very, very painful. So now it's going up to like a 5. So I think it's time to go ahead and use this, because we really don't want to see me writhing in pain like I have been in many of the other videos. So I just have to spray it under my tongue. And then you have to either not talk or talk like this. It does start to burn a little bit. It said it needed to be primed, and I can't say that it was exactly primed because the first spray was like a half a spray. But we'll see if this will do the trick. And guess look at my watch. Here it's 9:49. Oh, and I just really feel like sick and uncomfortable. Like I don't want to move yet. Kind of like I'll probably feel a little bit better if I push my seat back. I don't know what that'll do for the picture. Oh, and of course I've got all kinds of stuff in the back of my car that's messing with my seat. It's an empty box. And this stuff tastes like disgusting. Like when you take nasal spray and it gets in your mouth. Ugh. It's really hurting. I think I'm not as frightened as I used to be. Like these used to just be so paralyzing with fear, and that would make me just writhe and cry. And because sometimes the nitroglycerin spray doesn't work. It's kind of maybe starting to work some. I'm definitely getting like nauseous, like I want to throw up. That could also be the taste of this stuff. I have a lot of sinus drainage in the morning, and the sinus drainage makes me want to throw up anyway. So this additional flavor is, I'm sure, not helping. And I usually, after a while, I just swallow this. But they have you place it under the tongue because it gets into the soft muscle faster. I think it might be starting to let up a little bit. It's not as strong a 5. It's maybe a 4.5. It's just very, and I've got it on the side of my, this is my left side. If my recording is not, like, if it's not doing the flip thing, but this is my left side. I have had these happen when I'm driving, and I've pulled over to the side of the road and suffered with them, or, you know, pulled over into a parking spot. Usually these can be like 10 times, 100 times more painful than this one. None of them are pleasant. It's just this squeezing, a choking, like a big huge rock in your throat. You want to throw up. Some people mentioned drinking water during this. That is like the last thing I would want to do. I mean, I have been able to drink water before, and it's not that I can't, it's just that I'm so nauseated right now, probably because I don't usually have them in the morning. I usually have them late at night. But like, I think from all the activity this morning, I think it's starting to ease a little bit more. But my stomach is still kind of upset. One of the lucky things I have for upset stomach is called Zofran. It has another name. Oh, I just feel gross. Just, like I really do want to throw up. So this would be definitely not, you know, like they have these standards for YouTube videos, and throwing up is not something that you should be putting on a video. But I can lean out my door, so give me a second. I don't know if the neighbors were watching. Oh. So I am still having the pain and obviously the nausea. I don't usually have that need to like regurgitate. It's not like anything comes up. It's not because it can. It's just I haven't eaten anything. If anything were to come up, it'd be that disgusting bile that ladies know if they've had morning sickness, what that's all about. It's that nasty yellow morning sickness bile would probably be the only thing that would come up this morning. I have had Diet Coke. So I have that in the morning because I don't drink coffee, and it seems to help settle my stomach from the sinus drainage. So I feel a little bit better, but I still feel like just, you can tell I don't want to open my eyes. I'm not being very talkative. I take the deep breaths. It just really is super, super uncomfortable. If you are experiencing any of these, this one for me is super mild. Looks like it's kind of dragging out a little bit longer. I've had them go on and on and on for 3 to 4 to 5 hours before you think they're gone, and then it comes back. This one has decreased in intensity to maybe just below a 3, just to where, like, when I start, I'm kind of like at that point, maybe a little bit past the point where I already know that one's going to happen. Sometimes when I feel one coming on, I'll wait a little bit and try to change position to see if I can circumvent it and make it just not happen. And sometimes that works. Maybe it's mind over matter. But this one does seem to feel like that smooth muscle, which is what the nitroglycerin does, is it relaxes the smooth muscle. And the reason you get a headache is since that smooth muscle is relaxing, it just opens up those blood vessels and the blood goes rushing into your brain. I've got maybe a little slight bit of a headache. I didn't have one before. This is the left side of my head if the video is not flipped, or if it's whatever flipped wrong. Now that was a deep breath of relief, but I can still feel that like uncomfortable stomach rock. I just basically want to throw up some more, lay down. These things can take a lot out of you, so imagine if you're on your way to work or if you're teaching your class in high school. I had a really bad one time when I was teaching a classroom full of students, and I put my arms up on the file cabinet and I tried to straighten up, although I'd been standing, so I don't know how much straighter you can really get. And I just kind of made it look like I was looking at a folder. I think a yawn is a good sign, although even just touching the skin on my throat makes me feel nauseous. And nausea has not normally been one of my problems. It's always been just the pain. But hey, I turned 50. So all bets are off. I've been dealing with these. My son that I drove to work will be 22 in June. And I had my first spasm when he was like 2 weeks old. So I think that this has receded in intensity. It's still kind of laying right here, which is that midline of the chest under the left breast. A lot of times I'll definitely take off my bra. But this, I do have a wire bra and it's not particularly tight, but I had to drive him to work and I'm not going to go driving anywhere with even 10 sweatshirts on. I'm not going to drive with no brassiere on, sorry. But again, I think for my unexpected morning, him being late and then having to get him up, and drive him over there and then drive home. With all the other stuff that I have to do today, it's an increase in stress, so I think that's probably what brought it on today. I have had so much, I have had many more stressful events that I would not consider this personally like a stressful event. There's been other days I've taken him to work and not had a spasm, but since I have this, I guess I didn't sleep very well last night. Let's see how much more I can sit up. I just kind of want to do things slow. I hope no one has to care for little children, because it's about all you really feel like doing, about to care for yourself when you're dealing with these. My nitroglycerin has this handy little clip, so when I have it in my purse, I can clip it up high on one of the pockets, so like it's easy to get to. I do that when they're frequent, but as long as I know I have it, I'm good. Excuse me for yawning, but that's another sign that I think I'm starting to relax some. Sitting up is still not comfortable, but I think it's something I can do now. Left my seat back up. Again, if you are experiencing these, this one I would say was super minor. Although I did have to use a spray, so maybe that's a little bit more intense. But since I have had like the grand mal esophageal spasm, which you'll see those if you look at my channel, like my very first few videos are those extreme, agonizing, rolling on the floor, crying, the nitroglycerin spray not helping. The ones that are more painful than a 10, they're like 100 on the pain scale. This one in comparison is just not even hardly on the register when you have those. Thank goodness that I haven't had anything that severe in over a year. I don't always make videos of these, but I have come to understand that since this is a topic that needs to be provided to those who suffer, I don't know if doctors are getting more on board with this lately, but whenever I try to explain it, even my own internal medicine doctor, I think he just humors me. Although he's been able to see a video and talk to my husband too. So I would say I'm not quite at 100%. I didn't have the excruciating headache. You can have a pretty good headache, but for me the headache is nothing. I'm still feeling nauseous. That's a new development, but I really think that's just because in the morning I deal with nausea from my sinuses, and I actually also carry with me a medication so that if I do get the nausea, to prevent myself from throwing up, because I hate to throw up. And I will go inside and brush my teeth in a minute, but I have this nausea medicine. I used to not need it very often, but I quit taking an over-the-counter medication for sinus medicine because I found out that along with other medication I take, it was causing extreme dry mouth, and I constantly have water with me to combat dry mouth. But then I found out that it's really the saliva that is protecting your teeth, and water isn't really a substitute for saliva. It's all about the pH and everything. So even though I have the water and I don't technically have a dry mouth. I don't have the protective saliva protecting my teeth. So I'm now like working on that issue by reducing medications that cause dry mouth. So I'm going to rinse from my earlier, take out the keys. My earlier, which wasn't really, it was more like a dry heave. So I'm gonna swish and spit, excuse me. Sorry about that, but it's just kind of gross. And now I finally feel a little bit better. I still am having the pain. It's still in the same spot where it started. Maybe 2 inches below the center of my bra. I've got that nausea. I'm going to try a little drink here. Stomach acid also is terrible for your teeth. So my public service announcement, make sure you take care of your teeth. I want to have them for as long as possible. I'd like to not have to get any dentures if I can avoid that. I kind of feel very angry that, well, maybe I was angry at first. I just kind of feel unhappy that I wasn't warned with the medication that I take that this could have been, a problem. I've gotten like these huge cavities. I have like thousands of dollars worth of restoration and crowns in my mouth, and I've got more ahead of me. And we have good dental insurance, but it only covers a small percentage, like maybe, well, I use up my dental insurance every year. Used to never ever have that with like regular cleanings and x-rays and whatever. That never was a problem, but we have $13.50 per person, and I always use mine up and then spend a lot more. So I'm fortunate because I can get care credit and pay it off in installments. Or just put it on a credit card with no interest and pay it off that way. There's just different options. So, but that again is something unrelated to esophageal spasms. And I am not seeing my nausea medicine. Let me check one more spot. Sometimes I put it in the change purse section from my wallet. But I do know I have some in the house, so I will have to remedy that though, because it happens like when I'm out and you never feel good when you have to throw up. It does work very quickly, so if you have that problem, you might ask your physician if they would be willing to prescribe you some of those. They're a sublingual, self-dissolving, very quickly, like a Ready tab. It just dissolves super quickly. Wait, one more place to look. I think it might be in here. Yes, they are. So here's what these look like. Little blister pack, and it says on the well, that's the generic name, or probably the real name. Disintegrating tablet, 4 milligrams. And it contains that phenylalanine. So there's people that can't take that. So make sure you talk with your doctor or pharmacist if you are sensitive to that. So it's this little blister pack, and when you're in the throes of super nausea, these are really difficult to open, and I have accidentally had them flip out before, which is like a nightmare. But let me tell you, with the motivation of nausea and throwing up. If this fell on the floor in cat hair, I would still pick it up and do the 5-second thing and blow it off and take it with no hesitation. Don't push it through the packet. It will squish and disintegrate. So it's a little tiny white tablet. You just, under the tongue, it'll disappear super quick, and I will feel way better super quick. Now the esophageal spasm is like this body memory right now. Like it's sore, the path that it followed. And I feel kind of, again, my favorite description, like a dish rag that has been wrung out. And then it's limp and deflated. That's the perfect feeling. Yet, I won't be able to, like, lay down and go to sleep because I have things I need to do. I'm starting to feel the cold now. This is disintegrating. It's not horrible tasting, but it's, I mean, nobody likes to take medicine. It's better than that nitroglycerin spray. Kind of tastes like, you ever, when you were a kid, ate a packet of Splenda? They used to have a commercial, or Equal, where they would just like pour this Equal into their mouth. Kind of reminds you of that. But it's kind of like this sickly sweet taste. And hopefully it'll work its magic pretty soon. Sorry this is so long. I just thought I'd let you join me on the journey of an esophageal spasm. Which, again, this has been a very, very mild one. If you have not had a heart workup, or even if you've had one in the past, it never hurts to get that checked up. There's a lot of information. Places have the Go Red for Women campaign where you can get your risk assessment. And now that I'm over 50, I have another point added in my risk assessment. But luckily, my blood pressure is normally low. And let's see what my heart rate is now. 96. So as that pain built, and all I've been doing is sitting here. You guys have been seeing me sitting here. Oh wait, now what did it say? Looked like it went to 82, 83, 84, 85, 84. All right, so I don't know, maybe because I looked up and my eyes got a blast of sunlight and that maybe made it rise higher. 85 again, 86. So that's definitely on the high side for people that know what their heart rate should be, etc. Mine always seems to run high because of some of the other medication I take. So I wish you a good day. I can't say that I'm 100% yet, but I can go ahead and get out of my car and get on with the rest of my day. I'm feeling about 70%. Maybe after a shower and putting my contacts in and my makeup on, maybe I'll feel better. But I still kind of have that wrung out dish rag, which is not exactly how you want to start off a romantic weekend with your husband. I can't even remember the last time we went away, and this is one of those rare times. So maybe that's part of the anxiety too, you know, because it's like, got to get the cats taken care of and the kids taken care of. My youngest is going to be 15 at the end of March, and the son that was late for work, again, he'll be 22. They both act like they're 15. So my oldest son, who's 25, will be coming over to babysit them overnight, both Friday night and Saturday night. And then we'll be home on Sunday. So All right, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope that you are pain-free and that you are not terrified by these. If it's, an esophageal spasm, my experience is it hasn't killed me in over 22 years. Well, almost 22 years, because like I said, my middle son was born, and I had it, oh gosh, I don't know, just a few weeks after he was born, and then he was barely a month old, and they took out my gallbladder because they thought I was having a gallbladder attack. And I had no gallstones and never had a gallbladder issue in my life. But I guess it's better to have it taken out when you're younger than when you're older. So that is also an erroneous diagnosis. So some people might think you're having a gallbladder attack, because I hear that they are extremely painful. All right, well, thanks again for watching, and I would say that my pain level, it's more like that body memory now. I'm just kind of sore, feeling a little weak, but I can grab my purse and my coat and my water and hoof it on into the house now. So thanks for watching, and I don't even have a subscribe button or anything, but if you know anybody that's suffering, feel free to share this. Feel free to share it with your doctor. My husband is a physician, and he has been instrumental in having this diagnosed for me. We've been to the gastroenterologists, internal medicine doctors. It was a very, very long process to get a diagnosis. But do not diagnose yourself. Make sure you absolutely get a heart workup. Every time, like before I was diagnosed, they'd take me to the ER and they would put me on one of the heart machines, and they could see my heart jumping along fine, normal, but they would see me and it made no sense to them because I'm writhing back and forth in pain and agony. And from what I remember, morphine and stuff, that did nothing for this pain. So, but it was a brilliant Dr. Frederick that recommended the nitroglycerin, and that changed my life. So, thinking of you, Dr. Frederick, wherever you are. All right, have a great weekend, day. Bye.